All right, get ready for quite a week. It's a week to dream boldly and plan wisely. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's Karma Cards. I am your host, Therese Tucker. And yeah, this is another big week. It's the big shift of the last planet to shift in 2025. Last outer planet is about to shift. By the time you see this, it may have just started shifting or we're in the shift already. So what I'm talking about is Uranus is now going to move into the sign of Gemini on July 7th. Uranus is what I call the plot twist planet. It's going to bring breakthroughs. It's going to bring through surprises, unexpected plot twists. That's its energy. It's connected to sort of the cutting edge of thought and technology. And when it moves into the sign of Gemini, it's also talking about communications. So we know some kind of big energy shift is coming for us in the following years as Uranus deepens its journey inside Gemini. We're going to see some massive, like, galactic level upgrades to technology, to the way that we learn, to the way that we communicate, to our social systems like social media. We'll see how we do this in a few years. Uranus is a planet that takes its time in its orbit, so we're in this energy for a few years. So even though it starts on July 7th, we'll start to feel the effects of it in a little while. But what's cool about the day that Uranus moves into Gemini, it's also the peak of the Sirius Stargate. Sirius is considered our spiritual sun, and when it's at its peak in early July, we get a lot of spiritual energy, spiritual downloads that come in. So with the merge of a 777 Sirius Stargate, 7 being the spiritual number, right? It's the heaven coming to earth number. So we know that with Sirius at its peak and Uranus moving into Gemini, that some kind of breakthrough information's coming through, and it has a cosmic quality to it. Uranus is also a planet that's considered an inspirational planet because it's like out of the blue, ideas kind of come in, which means that you could be receiving like soul information downloads, soul communications, galactic family communications, higher self communications. All of these be streaming in. So we get this massive dose of high voltage energy on July 7th. And then just a few days later, we've got a full moon in Capricorn happening on July 10th. And so it's like we take all this high voltage, mental, fast moving energy, and it's being asked to ground it, right? It's like we need a grounding wire now for all of this energy, because it's not going to do us any good if it's just kind of floating around up in our head. We need to bring it into the physical realm, and that's what the full moon in Capricorn is going to give us. It's like, let's make a plan for that amazing breakthrough idea you had. So we can tell already with the week, we've got this big insight coming in that asks to be ground. Following the full moon on the 10th is July 12th will be Saturn moving into retrograde. Now this it's like first we feel like we're really going to go, and then it's like, okay, now I just have to stop and make this plan. Then I'm going to go. Then Saturn goes retrograde, and it's like I'm trying to go and I can't, because Saturn in retrograde in the sign of Aries is like a spiritual audit for authenticity. Is it really? Are you really going after what you're supposed to go after? What's aligned to your soul? What's really and truly in alignment with you? Or are you just reacting to something like a cool idea? I feel like that happened to me recently. I was given like a really cool idea, and I'm still in the process of deciding if this is actually meant for me, or if it's just a really cool idea, but it's not in alignment with who I am. And so I'm having to take my time to process that. And I feel like that's mirroring what's coming in the week, is we're all going to have a situation similar to like that, where it's like, It's a cool idea, but as you actually think about it forming into your reality, being a part of your reality, do you actually want that? And then you have to take that even deeper and really feel, is this authentically for me? Or am I just kind of jazzed up about a cool idea? And then the week after that, we've got Mercury going retrograde too. So we're going into the retrograde period of time where multiple planets will be in retrograde, making us feel like, okay, I'm getting all these amazing insights, but I'm not really able to like push them through. I'm being slowed down and asked to really be disciplined in how I approach things rather than going at it with gusto, which some of us are like that. I tend to be like that. Got a lot of air in my chart, got a lot of fire. It's like quick, quick, quick. I want it to happen now. And those of you with more earth in your chart, you're much better at like really thinking things through, being more methodical, which is what this period of time is going to ask from us all. It's just to be more methodical and really think it through before we just jump into big, exciting things. So the energy is quite the roller coaster. We're going to go fast, and then it's like we slow it down, and then we have to go into that work part. And work, again, work doesn't mean that it's going to be heavy or not fun or not enjoyable. It simply means that we have to really take our time to consider what we're taking on, because if it's not meant for you, it's really not going to work. And you want to really assess situations before jumping into them, especially now, because it's all about alignment. It's always been about alignment, but never more has it been about alignment. And if it's not aligned, it's just not going to work. So it's time for us to get real about what we can take on or not. Anyway, going into the message from the team this week, I wanted to share something special with you, since by the time that you see this, we will be at the peak of the SIRIUS Stargate. And since one of the groups that I channel is the Golden Council of Sirius, they always come through really intensely during this time. And I wanted to share a message with you directly from them. So I'm going to actually let a message channel through here on my YouTube channel. I've never done that before. I don't know why it feels weird. I've done it. I do it every spirit circle, and there's one coming up this week, so I can't wait to do that with you. By the way, if you'd like to join, the link is in the description below. But I've never just channeled it to my tablet here. So we're going to give that a try, see how it is. It feels a little weird, I won't lie. I feel a little weird about doing it just to a screen, but we'll see what comes through. I look forward to sharing a message with you from the Golden Circle Council of Sirius. So let's do that now. We are the Golden Circle Council of Sirius, and we join with you now. We ask that you place a golden egg of light around the body, covering over the head, under the feet, and all around the body. This golden light is the light of the Christ consciousness, the highest level of consciousness that can be achieved on this plane. It acts as a protective energy field, radiating the highest levels of energy, as well as helping you to translate this message now. We are pleased that you called us and that you stand in your courage, which means that your heart is open to allow us to share this message with those this transmission will reach. Welcome, dear souls. At this now point of peak energy, we reach through the veil to you. We are always with you, as are many galactic and star families, watching over, observing, listening, and sending our energy when it is appropriate. And at this now high moment of peak Syrian energy, we are so pleased to align with you at this juncture of Uranus moving into Gemini. This will increase a sense of polarization as well as unification. This is a period of sorting timelines, that which are in the most alignment with you and that which are not. Technological advancements are about to reach peak levels. There is much fear and concern on the planet at this time around technology and the advancement of AI. And we encourage you to continue to use discernment. The heart knows if it is true message or false. And speaking of the heart, part of the job of the heart is to create the polarization energy, that which allows the blood to pump and flow. It clears impurities from the blood and allows it to flow with full health and full light. It does this from its own cosmic core. It acts more as a vacuum than a pump, allowing all to come in and instantly to be cleared, transmuted, and dispersed in all directions. And we ask that you follow the guidance of the heart, allow all to come in, to be transmuted and dispersed in all directions at once. That means on the emotional, physical, spiritual, and mental levels, allow all to come in, to be transmuted into pure energy and dispersed in all directions. Let us break this down. On the spiritual plane, many messages are coming through from all directions. The higher self, the spirit team, the galactic family, source itself. These are many layers. Each layer has something to offer. Each layer adds its own level of clarity. We ask that you try to listen to as many layers as you can allow yourself to hear. No one layer cancels out the other. Each layer deepens the knowledge and awareness. Allow all in. Transmute them and allow them to disperse in all directions, improving your wisdom and understanding. On the mental level, much information comes in, both from directions which you desire and those from directions you do not. Instead of trying to resist, allow all in to be transmuted. That which is truth will stand pure. All misunderstanding, misinformation, false truth will be transmuted and cleared. Allow the truth to disperse in all directions. Simply by being able to hold on the physical level, the body feels both energized and weakened. Allow both states to occur simultaneously as you are under a physical transmutation and have been for some time. There are peaks in this energy cycle that bring more physical transmutation, causing you to feel both energetic acceleration followed by and sometimes accompanied with physical weakness. Allow it in Allow it to transmute. Let it disperse. On the emotional level, highs and lows are felt during these transmutational times. Feelings of bliss, contentment, and absolute freedom commingle with heaviness, sadness, loss, grief, fear. These feelings can happen simultaneously. Allow them in, let them transmute and disperse. It may seem like we're asking you to do much work. This is not the case. We simply ask you to allow. Do not resist. Let the work be done from within. For as you allow the energies to move through you, you are the transmutational field. As you allow, the energy can transmute and disperse. For those who have listened to our messages before, we have talked about the transmutation not only of cellular energy, but of dimensional energy as well. The transmutation of errant timelines, collapsing and resolving, being braided back into a grand master timeline. This is so. This is how you do it. You allow it to unfold. The allowing creates the space for transmutation. For allowing means letting it in. As you let it in, the work of the heart continues, both on the physical as well as the energetic levels we speak of now. The heart is a transmutational field, clearing away impurities and allowing the purest form to flow through in all directions. So to be in a state of allowing means trusting your heart. Trust your heart. This is also the seat of the soul and the center of the self. It is both physical and non-physical. And that's why it sits in the body at the point energetically between your physical chakras and your spiritual chakras. The lower three, the root, sacral, the solar plexus represent the physical plane. The upper three, the throat, third eye, crown represent the spiritual planes. And in the middle sits the heart, transitioning and transmuting between physical and spiritual, purifying the physical and elevating it to the spiritual. And so, though much is happening, our ask is simple. To allow is to keep the heart open, to trust that the heart knows how to do its job. And when you do that, the intuition increases. It is easier to follow the internal guidance and be on the timeline most aligned to your highest good. We send you our love and constant support. We are the Golden Council of Sirius, and we leave you now. So there's my message from my team. I hope, as I said that, they're like, bing, my team. I hope that that message is helpful. Feels like there's a lot to do, but it's pretty simple. Try not to resist. Try to stay open and allow. And let the heart do its work. And just trust that it already knows what to do, because it does. And with that, let's hear this week's karma cards. If you're new to karma cards, let me quickly show you how these work. I have 3 decks here: planets, signs of the zodiac, and the houses of astrology. And I've already asked my team, what is the message for this week? And I've got 2 sets of answers, a set in red, which are action related, and a set in blue, which are outcome related. And the way that you play is you tune in with that beautiful intuition of yours and feel, what is the guidance you need this week? Are you looking for action-related guidance, outcome-related guidance? And of course, you can always choose both. And while you are choosing, let me tell you the timing for this reading. This reading is for July 6th through the 13th. And the flavor of this reading, we've got the sun. So this sun is about actualization. It's about being. It's a really good card to get. It's like, it's going to happen when the sun's here. I love that. In the sign of Pisces, which is about your intuition. It's also about your dreams and your idealizations, your highest timeline. In the 6th house, which is about that work-life balance. So the balance between your health and taking care of yourself and how you take care of other people. Right. For those who are choosing action, your spiritual action at this time is to demonstrate your dreams as a full-time job. All right, so again, it's like, what do you want to experience? I kind of act as if it's happening now, but it's not even like it's, when I say act as if, some people interpret that as like pretend, right? Pretend it's all good when it's really not. No. This is about your baseline frequency. So what your baseline frequency is, this is that baseline emotional state that you're hanging out with, because your emotional state is like what tunes you into a certain timeline. Okay, it's like a radio station, and the frequency, the emotional state, is like the call number, right? So I often say, it's like, if I want classical music where I live, I need to tune into 98.1. That's the call number. If I want a certain experience, like to be on the highest timeline, well, I need to like tune into, what does that feel like for me? And for me, let's say it feels like contentment or peace, right? Let's say that's what the feeling is that you get. How can you practice that now? Because we're not going to be able to move into or experience or hear that timeline if I'm practicing fear and stress. If I'm practicing fear and stress, I'm going to get the radio station that's associated with that. I'm going to get the timeline that's associated with that. So demonstrate your dreams as a full-time job. Think about what you want to experience. Feel that experience as if it's happening. Identify that feeling. Utilize that feeling, meaning, how often can I move into peace? If peace is what I sense when I tune into this higher timeline, or if joy is what I sense when I tune into that relationship or that job, if those are the feelings I'm getting as I tune in to already having it, I need to practice those feelings now. And it's not a manufacture. You can't manufacture the feeling. You can't be like, I'm happy, and you're really like freaking out. You need to find the way into that feeling. So if you're stressed out, how can you find your way into peace? What brings you peace right now? Is it taking time to meditate, or putting your legs up the wall, or being in nature? What brings you peace? Writing a list of everything that's going right. What brings you that feeling? Practice that as a full-time job, meaning as much as you can get into that state. Do that for yourself. For example, with the last new moon, when I was doing this, and I do this every new moon, we go through this to find those baseline emotions. I was looking at a timeline where certain events were happening that I desire. So I went and I saw them, I practiced what they felt like, I identified the emotion. It was really interesting. It was knowing. I really like that one. It's the first time I got that, knowing. So my job right now, if I want to experience that, if I want to get on that timeline, I need to practice knowing as much as I can. And the irony is like, well, if you aren't having that experience, there's a good chance you're practicing a different baseline emotion. And that's something that I found for myself. It's like, whoa, I wasn't practicing knowing, I was practicing doubt or insecurity or fear around certain things, right? I wasn't practicing knowing. So my job right now, if I want that experience, is to move into knowing as much as I can, which might mean that I really acknowledge the stuff that I know right now, the things that I am certain of right now. That's what we want to do. So it's not about faking it in terms of like, I'm going to pretend I know when I inside feel like I don't. I actually want to authentically create that feeling by finding things in my current reality that activate a sense of knowing or activate a sense of peace. Mental action at this time, realize your idealization of serving. All right, so it's asking us to look at how are we idealizing being of service to others. This always gets me to think about, like, again, they want us to do some cleanup work on martyrdom. And again, we don't want to swing the pendulum in the other direction here. So it's not asking us to become selfish or worse, to the point of narcissism where it's all about you. It's simply understanding that putting your own needs last is not always the best form of service, especially when you're doing a lot of self-sacrifice and hoping that that will be acknowledged or noticed, right? Like, oh, you know, this is so great that you did this, and you know, you put all your needs aside to take care of it. It rarely ever works out that way, that you self-sacrifice so much and then everyone turns around and appreciates you for that. I think a lot of times we end up in that pattern hoping that we'll be seen and appreciated, and we end up usually feeling more frustrated and more resentful in the end, because that's rarely what happens. Because I think everyone unconsciously sort of assumes you've taken care of yourself. We want to use the analogy that we get on an airplane, which is put your mask on first and then help others. So it's time for us to make sure we're, you know, looking at, are we still going into a martyristic place or a sacrificial place when it comes to service, or have we balanced it out? Have we realized, yeah, I got to make sure my nervous system's in a good place, mentally and emotionally I'm in a good place so that I can really actually help? Or am I putting the cart before the horse and hoping that someone will take care of me afterwards? Because that's an old paradigm scenario. All right, physical action at this time. Act like a leader, be part of something overwhelming, and do it a little at a time. Love that. I love how it's like, be blah, and then just do it a little bit. Okay. All right, it's really interesting. In a lot of like the messages and channelings and the work of being asked to do, it is, they often joke about the 100th monkey effect, which is the be like a leader part, meaning that we are in the throes of this huge transformation on so many levels. I think that it's so epic, it's really hard to see, because everything's transforming, including us, including at that biological cellular level. What I feel like is being called for here, the something overwhelming, that's the ascension event. How do we be a part of that? Well, every time we follow the guidance, right? In this case, today's guidance was about, don't try to resist anything. Let it all in. Let the heart do its work, right? Let the heart take it in, transmute it, and disperse it in the correct, you know, alignment. Let the fear and the joy and the love, the grief, let it all intermingle and work itself out within you. And what I mean by that is we're not trying to deny lower emotion so that we can hang out in a higher state, because that's not how it works, right? We need to clear that energy, which means if we allow it, we're like, in this moment I feel a heaviness and a fear, but we let that in. What it means is we're not suppressing or resisting, which creates a new problem. We're simply allowing it to sort of wash through us, and as it does, it purifies itself. We don't want to hang on to anything either, right? Let it move. Let it move through us. So the wave comes in, washes over us and we let it go. Our job is almost to like allow it, just again, to allow it to happen. If we're following advice like that, we are a part of that ascension energy, because there are some people who are they're getting that message, but they're not necessarily following the guidance, or it's bypassing their conscious mind, going right into their subconscious. The more of us who follow these little calls, and again, little, it's every day you get a little bit of it. You follow the call and you just do it, trusting that that actually has a cumulative effect on humanity as a whole. It might feel like this is just me doing me things, but many of you who listen already know that sometimes you're working on your own work, and sometimes you are taking on like bonus homework. You're doing extra credit, meaning you're not just clearing what's happening for you internally, but let's say an area you're in is holding heavy grief. That heavy grief might naturally come to you to move through you. It's not meant to be adopted by you and taken on by you as yours. Rather, you feel the wave go through you and it purifies. You're allowed to purify it through your heart and it disperses, right? So all the impurities move out. Now, this doesn't mean you're holding impurities, right? The heart isn't holding impurities. It's flushing it out. So do we. So it's not like we're taking on density to do it. I think sometimes even I get caught up in if I allow myself to be in this heavy space, aren't I just weighing myself down? Aren't I making it harder to transcend? And you're not. We don't want to deny any heavy energy that's coming through, because then it can't transmute, right? We don't want to just pretend, no, it's great, I'm fine, I'm on the highest timeline, it's all good, but really we're suppressing heavy emotion. We don't want to hold back. We want to let it flow. That's the healthiest way to do it. As we all do it a little bit at a time, the collective shifts. And those of us who are willing to hear the message and do that, just be there and hold it. Be like, yeah, something's breaking down. That's where the leadership is, because you're listening and you're taking it in consciously. That's the leadership part, versus letting it bypass your conscious mind and just go into the subconscious. Okay, so now let's look at outcomes with the sun in Pisces in the 6th house of work-life balance. Spiritual outcome at this time, the creation of spirituality to ultimately experience service to others. So that's it. That's how we do it. We just hear the message. If you can capture it consciously, great job. Follow the assignment. Do whatever is called in that moment and let it go, right? Some stuff, by the way, is going to go right past our conscious mind and into the subconscious, because there's just so much. There's so much coming at us. So this isn't about like try to catch everything. It's not like Pokemon, okay? We don't have to catch all the spiritual message and instructions. Just when you hear it come in, whether you're hearing it from like a video like this, or you're hearing it internally, or you hear it in a dream, just do your best to try and follow along with the guidance, right? That's what they're being asked to do. And doing that is doing the job. You did it. It's like, great. Even if you did it for like 5 minutes that day and you're like, that's all I could handle, good job. That's a little bit at a time. That's all we're just going to every day, just a little. It's like taking your multivitamin. Here's your spiritual vitamin. Take it for the day. You did a good job. Okay. Mental outcome at this time, the gaining of respect for or from trusting your psychic knowledge of what is good for us. Yeah, that's it. Trust your heart. Trust. They said that, right? Didn't they? Did they? Let me know in the comments. I'll probably hear it when I edit it, but just share it with me anyway. Didn't they say trust your heart? Yeah. When you trust your heart, that's your psychic knowledge. The heart is the center of intuition, not the brain. A lot of people think that pineal gland is the center of it. The pineal gland plays a part for sure. Pineal gland is excellent at showing us, like giving us the visuals, right? Helping us mentally understand these spiritual concepts, but all the spiritual information right here in the heart. You trust that. It's like, wow, you really start to understand yourself and how deeply deeply spiritual you are, right? And not just like in a woo-woo way. I mean, like, your spirit is ancient, it's powerful, it knows so much, right? And it's connected to larger spiritual energy that knows everything. I mean, it's incredible when you really trust that. You're cracking yourself open even more. Your heart is opening wider when we trust it. Physical outcome at this time, things brought to light or life resulting from the indecision of or about your work. Yeah. This one hits close to home because we are really being called to our soul mission at this time. And sometimes our soul mission aligns with the work that we're doing, and sometimes they feel like they're at odds with each other, or like there's no more energy in certain work. And I've definitely felt that. And it's hard because, especially if it's something you built, that can be hard to come to terms with. And it will bring up all those feelings, right? The heavier feelings, possibly. So yeah, you might feel like something's not quite working out anymore, or there needs to be a change, or things are changing on you. That is part of the process, and that's because authenticity is the name of the game, has been pretty much the whole time, but it gets more and more serious the closer and closer we get to this peak energy of transformation. If it's just from a different version of you, or if it's the version that you created to be socially acceptable or successful or whatever, and it's not part of your soul mission, that's going to create this feeling of like ill-fitting clothes is the feeling I get. It's like you could keep trying to wear it, but at some point you just get really uncomfortable, and it's like, I gotta let this go now. It's like it's time to donate because it's not working anymore. So there's a lot of beautiful growth. There's a lot of like alignment here in this coming week. A lot of like self-understanding, but also sort of it's, now that reminds me of Saturn retrograde, inventory time. Does this fit me anymore? Am I this? Do I want to keep doing this? Is it comfortable to do it anymore? Does it feel wrong or out of alignment in some way? We're going to have to look at those things, especially as we get these sort of like beautiful ahas and awareness of something more, which you will get at the same time. So it's not all great, but it's not all bad either. It's actually quite a balance here. It feels like a week of embodying this, and simply allow. Try not to resist. I know it's easier said than done. I catch myself all the time. I'm like, just going to allow. And then something really tests me, and I'm like, oh, hard. You're asking me to make a hard decision. I didn't think I'd have to make that decision, but that's what comes up. So the good news is we're doing it together. Everybody's looks a little different, but ultimately we're on the same ride. Oh, so let's try and allow this experience in and trust our heart in the process. And with that, I'm sending you so much love. Mwah. Okay, super quick. I just want to share this with you because it was so cool. So I just gave you the kissy sign off. This is for post editing. You won't see the timestamp number that I see because I have to edit out all the pausing and getting up and all that stuff. But when I ended the video, it ended with 4444. So this video was 44 minutes and 44 seconds, which is my spirit team's number. And it was like they were also giving you one of these. Mwah. So I just had to add this on and share it with you to let you know they were definitely here with you, and they're sending you love too. All right, bye.